If you think making money in the stock market is easy, Jesse Livermore's story will make you think twice. This isn't just a tale of fast fortunes, it's a relentless battle against yourself, your emotions, and the chaotic forces of the market, where only the disciplined and the brave survive. Born in 1877 in Shrewsbury, Massachusetts, Jesse Livermore came from humble beginnings. At just 14 years old, while most kids were focused on school and play, Livermore was already diving headfirst into the complex world of stocks, an arena dominated by seasoned investors and Wall Street titans. With only a handful of cents and sheer determination, he started teaching himself how to read and interpret market movements. Back then, there were no fancy trading platforms or real-time data feeds. Livermore relied on handwritten ticker tape prices and his keen observation skills. He learned to spot trends, read the crowd's psychology, and, most importantly, understand when to strike. His ability to sense the market's rhythm led to impressive gains early on, even as a teenager. But Livermore's journey was far from a smooth ride. He faced multiple financial crashes, losing millions, an astronomical sum at the time. What set him apart was not just his talent, but his resilience. Each failure became a lesson, sharpening his strategies and strengthening his discipline. Livermore was not just a trader, he was a symbol of perseverance and self-mastery in a market full of risks and wild swings. He earned the nickname the Boy Plunger, and later was hailed as the Great Bear of Wall Street for his daring ability to ride the market's big waves and turn massive profits during crashes and booms alike. But behind the fame and fortune were years of isolation, psychological strain, and the brutal realities of controlling a volatile market. Jesse Livermore's life story reflects the raw truth of the financial markets. Fortunes can be made or lost in seconds. Only those who master patience, strict discipline, and accept failure as part of the process can achieve lasting success. His legacy is not just about wealth, but about conquering the most unpredictable opponent, yourself. The market is always right, Livermore's unbreakable rule. The hardest truth Jesse Livermore ever faced wasn't about charts or price movements. It was accepting that the market is never wrong. It's your own beliefs and biases that fail you. And mastering this brutal reality is what separates a true trader from a gambler. From the very start of his trading career, Livermore understood a principle so simple, yet so profoundly difficult to practice. The market always knows more than you do. No matter how confident you feel, no matter how much research you do, the market's movements are driven by the collective behavior of millions, emotions, news, money flows, none of which you can fully control or predict. Most traders fall into the trap of fighting the market. They hold on to losing positions because of stubborn pride or false hope. They convince themselves that the price will reverse any minute now, ignoring glaring evidence to the contrary. Livermore saw this as the greatest danger, the silent killer of trading accounts. He famously said, "Markets are never wrong. Opinions often are." His success came from relentless self-honesty. When the market showed him he was wrong, he didn't argue or rationalize. He cut his losses quickly and waited patiently for the next valid opportunity. This approach required not just strategy, but tremendous emotional discipline. It meant silencing the ego and embracing humility in the face of uncertainty. Livermore's genius wasn't just in spotting trends, but in acknowledging when he was beaten and stepping aside gracefully. This is what kept him alive through crashes and booms, while others lost everything chasing their illusions. Livermore's mindset elevated trading from a game of luck to a science of observation and reaction. He treated the market like a powerful river. You don't swim against the current, you float with it, navigating carefully and decisively. This philosophy made him a pioneer of what we today call trend following, identifying and riding major market moves rather than trying to guess every twist and turn. Moreover, Livermore understood that the market's power comes from its unpredictability. He embraced that uncertainty as a fact of life, never seeking control but rather adaptability. He said, "It is not the thinking that makes a good trader, but the sitting tight." Patience and timing, guided by respect for the market's wisdom, were his ultimate weapons. His teachings warn every trader to respect the market's authority, to keep an open mind, and to accept losses as part of the journey, not failure. Livermore's harshest lesson was that you cannot impose your will on the market. You must instead learn to listen and respond. This principle remains the cornerstone of trading psychology and strategy today. The power of patience. How waiting became Livermore's greatest weapon. In a world addicted to instant results and frantic trades, Jesse Livermore's greatest edge wasn't speed or boldness. It was the rare and almost forgotten art of patience. He understood that the market rewards those who wait, not those who act impulsively. In the frenetic rush of Wall Street, where every second seems to count and traders are glued to their screens, waiting often feels like wasting time. Yet for Jesse Livermore, patience was the cornerstone of his success, a superpower that turned him from a boy trader into a market legend. Livermore compared the market to a great ocean, unpredictable and sometimes violent. He knew storms would rage and waves would crash. But the smartest sailors didn't try to control the sea. They learned to read the currents and wait for the right tide. Similarly, Livermore waited for clear, powerful trends before committing his capital. This kind of patience wasn't passive. It required intense self-discipline and emotional control. It meant suppressing the urge to chase every price movement or jump on every rumor. Livermore knew many traders lose money because they act too quickly out of fear or greed, chasing the market's noise instead of its signal. He once said, "The big money is not in the buying or selling, but in the waiting." That waiting was a battlefield where only the strongest could endure, resisting the temptation to be constantly active, and instead observing, analyzing, and preparing for the decisive moment. The patience Livermore practiced was also deeply tied to his ability to read market psychology. He understood that markets often move irrationally in the short term, driven by emotion and speculation. So, rushing to trade during these volatile moments usually ended in disaster. Instead, he chose to wait until the crowd's frenzy settled and a clear direction emerged. This was when the market showed its true hand, and Livermore struck with conviction and size. His trades were not scattershot guesses, but calculated moves based on careful observation and readiness. This approach helped him avoid the trap of overtrading, which drains capital and focus. Instead of acting on impulse, he waited patiently, often sitting on the sidelines for days, even weeks, while others lost their heads and their money. In today's era of high-frequency trading and 24/7 news cycles, Livermore's lesson about patience is more relevant than ever. With constant market noise bombarding traders, the discipline to wait, truly wait before making a move is a rare and invaluable skill. Patience, as Livermore taught, is not about inactivity, but about intelligent restraint. It's about trusting the process, respecting the market's timing, and knowing that the greatest profits come not from constant action, but from well-timed, decisive moves. Ultimately, his mastery of patience allowed Livermore to survive the market's brutal crashes and seize its biggest opportunities. It's a timeless lesson. In the chaotic dance of markets, sometimes your greatest power lies in doing nothing until the perfect moment arrives. Mastering risk, how Jesse Livermore turned losses into lessons and fear into fuel. What separates a losing trader from a winning one? It's not how many times you're right, but how you handle being wrong. Jesse Livermore's secret wasn't in avoiding losses, it was in mastering them. Risk is the shadow that follows every trader. It lurks behind every trade, whispering doubt and fear. For many, risk becomes paralysis, anxiety, or worse, a cycle of emotional destruction. But for Jesse Livermore, risk was a teacher, a brutal mentor that forced him to evolve. Early in his career, Livermore experienced devastating losses. He didn't deny or run from them. Instead, he dissected each loss like a scientist analyzing a failed experiment. What went wrong? Was it timing, size, or emotional bias? Each loss was a raw data point, an opportunity to refine his strategy and mindset. Unlike many who double down on bad trades out of hope or stubbornness, Livermore learned the crucial art of cutting losses quickly. He often said, "Don't let your losses run too far. Learn to admit when you're wrong." This principle saved him from catastrophic wipeouts and preserved the capital he needed for his next big move. But beyond cutting losses, Livermore's real mastery was understanding risk as a tool, not a threat. He calculated position sizes carefully, never risking more than a small percentage of his capital on any single trade. This method gave him resilience to withstand losing streaks and stay in the game when others faltered. More importantly, Livermore embraced fear. Rather than letting it freeze him, he used fear as a signal. When fear gripped the market or himself, he knew a pivotal moment was near. He trained himself to remain calm, to assess the situation with clarity instead of panic. This mental discipline transformed risk from an enemy into an ally. Livermore also recognized that trading without a risk plan was like walking blindfolded. He implemented strict rules, stop losses, position limits, and constant reassessment. This structured approach kept his emotions in check and his decisions rational. His philosophy challenges the fantasy that trading is about hitting home runs on every swing. Instead, Livermore's story reveals that true success comes from managing the inevitable failures with courage, humility, and wisdom. This mindset applies beyond trading. Anyone facing uncertainty or high stakes can learn from Livermore's approach. It's about embracing discomfort, learning from setbacks, and never letting fear dictate your actions. In a world where many chase illusions of certainty and guaranteed wins, Jesse Livermore's legacy is a powerful reminder. Risk is inevitable, but mastery over risk is what turns traders into legends. Jesse Livermore's legacy: more than trading, it's a mindset. Great traders are not born, they are forged in the fires of failure, shaped by relentless discipline, and sharpened by continuous self awareness. Jesse Livermore's journey is not just a story of massive wealth, it's a timeless, profound lesson about mastering oneself, the most crucial element in any endeavor, especially trading. His deepest insight wasn't found in charts or numbers, but in the ongoing battle within every trader's mind. Waves of doubt, fear, greed, hope, and excitement are the harshest challenges shaping a trader's fate. Livermore revealed that the most valuable asset isn't money or technical knowledge, it's emotional resilience, the ability to stay calm amid chaos, and the courage to act when others hesitate. He showed that true success in trading comes from within: the discipline to follow a plan, the patience to wait for the right moment, and the wisdom to learn from every loss, big or small. Simply put, the market tests not just your skills, but your character and mental toughness. Today, as you embark on or continue your trading journey, remember this: it's not about avoiding risk or chasing quick wins. It's about building a mindset strong enough to weather storms and smart enough to seize rare opportunities. It's about turning every setback into a stepping stone for growth and progress. If you're ready to cultivate this mindset, one of discipline, patience, emotional mastery, and deep self-awareness, then Trading Mindset Lab is your perfect companion. Hit subscribe now and join a community of resilient, thoughtful traders where we explore, learn, and share the secrets to sustainable and meaningful success in trading and in life. Because in the ever-changing world of finance and in life's unpredictable journey, it's not luck or raw knowledge that determines your path. It's the mastery of your mind. Let your mind become your sharpest weapon, and your journey to success will begin there.